Hi, I'm Julia Amadio. I'm the Chief Product Officer for Therapeutics MD, a women's biopharmaceutical company down in Boca Raton, Florida. When I first started, I would honestly say that I saw myself leading a company and being in a leadership position. I feel really good about what I'm doing today. Working in women's health is wonderful. A, because I'm a woman, so it's relevant, but also because it is one of those areas that has been fluctuating in terms of people really devoting time and effort to it and to developing new drugs for it. Women's health, unfortunately, is not an area that is well studied and well understood. And a lot more needs to be done to really help women who are the healthcare leaders for families, for their entire community, for others. And one of the things about helping women in this field is extremely rewarding and feeling like I'm making a difference in the world. Well, when I started, I'm old, first of all. When I started, I was the first woman in almost every situation. So I was the first woman in accounting at J&J many years ago. I was often one of the first women in whatever organization and level I attained at the various companies. I was at J&J, Wyeth, Rome Palenque, then Aventis, and then Daiichi. And in each case, it was breaking ground, breaking ceilings, making the men feel comfortable with a woman who knew what she was doing. I had an MBA before I started in the business, and so I was well qualified. And I definitely think that's one of the challenges for women, is that they do have to overqualify, overcompensate, because men are a little bit less willing to take them at face value. And it's like dealing with anybody. You're always more comfortable with people that you feel you can relate to. And so it was difficult in the early years for men to relate to women because they didn't know them in a business capacity. They knew them as the wives and mothers. And so that was probably the biggest challenge I had in my career, was actually breaking a lot of those initial barriers for women in business. I can honestly say that I have a number of multi-billion-dollar launch products that I am very proud of. But what I'm probably most proud of is my mentoring of other young women. And I'm a member of the Healthcare Business Women's Association and have been for years, and use that opportunity to mentor other women in business, but also locally in my own company, try and tap into women who are starting off more in their careers. I really do enjoy that. I think that is one of the best things that we can do. Is I always try and say, God, I wish somebody had told me this when I was starting out, and be the one to tell them that when they're starting out, because men do it, but men do it in a way that is not seen as, you know, sit down and let's have a mentoring discussion. They'll do it casually over a basketball game or a beer when they're talking with somebody outside of work. Whereas women don't always have that opportunity, and yet we really need to take it and sit down and make that effort to counsel other young women who are getting into the business, getting into industry, and need just a little bit of savvy walking into a situation that other men may have told the guys, you know, here's what's going on, and here's a little bit of politics behind this. Women need to do the same thing, and then trust each other that that's what's behind it, not something else. Tell more people about what you've accomplished. Tell your boss more about what you've done. And share that learnings with others. One of the things I think women do the worst is to own what they've done and tell people about it. It's not just accomplishing things and feeling really good about it, it's also letting the rest of the company and the rest of the group know what you've done and be proud of it. I want to see a woman president. I want to see more women in other leadership positions that are considered high echelons of any kind of political, religious, community, etc. focus, and recognize that that is a norm and not something unique. I think you really do need to think about what you enjoy doing. Think about what aspects are most important to you and pursue it. Look at different opportunities for how you can enter into the various roles, and then do your research and get the experience or get the training, because I do think that women do a great job of preparing themselves and then sometimes are a little bit hesitant about actually jumping in and acting. And that's probably the worst thing to do. Is you need to, yes, you need to prepare, you need to plan, you need to train. But as I certainly learned on the golf course, people are much more talk than action. And after taking lessons and preparing and then going out and playing, I looked around and I realized that they weren't any better than I was. They had just played more than I had. And so you can you can prepare and practice all you want, but until you actually get out there and start doing it, that's when the rubber meets the road and you actually get to show people what you're capable of. Reading people's minds. Because it's a challenge. I mean, women are good in terms of sensitivity to others, but you can't read minds. And sometimes others are hesitant to actually express what they really feel because they're concerned that you'll be upset by it. And I can't tell you how many times I've said, just hit me with a 2x4. Tell me what you really mean. Don't sugarcoat it. Let me know what you're talking about, because trust me, I can handle it.